Hello, my wonderful, beautiful friends. Welcome back to r/EntitledPeople, where you'll hear stories about people who believe that the world truly revolves around them. Guys, before we get into the stories today, I gotta show you this video of two Karens taking something that does not belong to them, and lying and getting defensive about it.
Is that yours?
Oh, yeah, but we don't know how to do it.
Oh, you need some help?
Do you know how to do it?
Yeah, this is our stuff.
This is yours?
Yes.
Wait a minute. Well, this is ours.
No, it is. This is all ours.
Not Jerry.
All of it. The chairs, the bag, this is all our stuff. My kids, yep, that's my kids. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Linda, we didn't bring,
It's okay. We'll let it slide, but I'm glad I made it in time.
No, I'm not making it slide. I'm telling you.
No, there's...
The goddamn camera.
No, step away from my How about that?
You know what? I will, and then I'm going to take that camera and put it in the grass. Are you going to like that? Step back. Stop it.
Oh my goodness, guys. I love how he asked if it belonged to them, and they totally said no. I mean, yes. And then they got defensive about it. About stealing somebody else's things and getting caught. Oh my goodness gracious, guys. With that video to warm you guys up, we'll dive into 3 super entitled stories today. So sit back, relax, and get ready to shake your heads at these entitled people. Oh, and do hit that subscribe button and you'll win a free trip to Karen's house, where she's got some great cookies. My friends, let's dive in. So, brief backstory. Back in March, I, a 25-year-old female, and my partner, a 27-year-old male, bought a house. It's a big deal for us, so we're glad we managed to pull this off, especially right before the pandemic got bad. It's a livable fixer-upper, and the lady that lived here bought it in '67 and was the only owner before us. It keeps us busy, and that's worked out really well being home so often. Now to the event with the entitled mother. So in May, my big project was pulling out some nasty bushes that had taken over a huge chunk of the front side yard. It was hot. I was sweaty. I'm digging out the roots and throwing the branches. As I'm right up front and making a pretty drastic change to the yard, people notice. Most neighbors stop by, say a quick hello from the car, and drive away. But not the entitled mother. The entitled mother pulls up in a shiny black Suburban from the opposite side of the road. She parks the wrong way and rolls down her window. I'd say she's in her 50s to 60s, gray-white bob-cut hair. I stand up and pause my music. The following conversation is not exact, but it's pretty close as this conversation was just so entitled. She said, "Hey, did you just buy this house?" I said, "Yep, just moved in last month." She asked me if I knew the family, and I replied, that sold it? Not really. We just got lucky they chose us, I guess." I was trying to be nice, but kind of off-put that she asked us none of the typical neighbor questions. She then said, "Yeah, my son really wanted this house. He grew up in this neighborhood, you know?" I replied, "Oh, darn. Yeah, houses move really fast right now." She then continued on and said, "He spent his whole life in this area. He really deserved to stay in this neighborhood, you know?" I told her, "Yeah, that's too bad. I'm having major what the F feelings right now." She then asked how much I offered for the house. And I wasn't about to tell her the details. And I said, I offered over asking price. We were proactive. Well, my son really wanted that house. I start to feel quite awkward with this whole situation and just looking to shoo this lady away, saying, "Well, I'm sure more houses will go up for sale around here." Well, that doesn't help him now, does it? He had his heart set on that house. I just shrug and decide to resume my root cutting to try to give her a message. And she said, "You're probably flipping it. He would have loved it." No, we're not. We're staying long term. She told me, "Yeah, right," and she doesn't leave. I'm wondering if I should go inside or something. She just keeps looking at me, expecting me to say something. I keep cutting at a root, and she says, "So, is it just you, or did your family help you get it? And would you sell it?" I'm getting pretty short in tone and said, "My partner and I bought it together." "No." Well, my grandkids would have loved the yard, and a yard makes a house a home, you know. I didn't look up at her and said, "My dogs will love it, especially when I'm done." The entitled mother huffed and said, "Seriously? My son wants to live here." I just scoff, pull my root out, throw it on the pile, and I feel her eyes watching me. Me, really ready to be done, said, "Well, have a good day." Then with one last glare and an ugh, she speeds off, leaving a quite annoyed and bewildered me in my dirty glory, mulling over what the heck just happened. Did this freaking lady just try to guilt trip me because we bought a house that her son wanted? Indeed, apparently. Definitely the most unwelcoming interaction I've had since we moved in, and I've not seen her since. I kind of have a feeling where this is a situation where the son actually lost the bidding war fairly and thought nothing of it, while the mom decided to take matters into her own hands because she wanted it for him. I'm so surprised that she didn't say, "Oh, but what will my son live in now?" Cause you know, entitled people tend to do that to get what they want. So I've just started university in Swansea, Wales, in the UK. I live and grew up in London, England, and we don't get many Karens in the UK, especially in London, because people just don't have time for that. That being said, I would have expected for it to be more likely to have this interaction in London, as opposed to Swansea. When I came here, I assumed that being a predominantly white area, I would encounter some racism, being of South African descent with brown skin. But I was pleasantly surprised to find that everyone is really nice and helpful, and much more welcoming than London. Anyway, I'm at the big Tesco in town, and I'm buying some food, and with that, I'm buying a load of alcohol for the flat. I'm talking 2 bottles of Baileys, a large bottle of vodka and white rum, an 18-pack of Corona, Jägermeister as well as Coke, Red Bull, and soda water. It's not enough to fill a bar, but it's still a fair bit for one person to buy. As I'm paying at the checkout, I have my driver's license and ID ready to show the cashier. I'm 19, yet I still have a pretty babyish face and I'm pretty small, so I always expect to get ID'd. But for some reason, the guy doesn't ask to see my ID, and I pay and start loading my shopping back in my trolley. As I'm doing so, the woman behind me with her teenager, maybe 15 to 17-year-old, starts speaking to the cashier. Karen alert. She starts whining and scolding him, asking why he didn't check my ID. The young cashier also seemed to realize that this wasn't going to be a fun interaction and responds by saying that I've shopped here before, and that he knows I'm of age. I don't know if he was playing along or not though, because I don't recall seeing him before. The woman continues to berate him, telling him that he sets a bad example for her kid because it shows him that he can get away with buying drinks underage and using fake IDs. At this point, I'm done loading my shopping and decide to not engage and leave. She instantly forgets the cashier and she blocks my way, asking me to show my ID and my bank card. I politely tell her she has no right to, and then she loses it. She doesn't scream or raise her voice significantly, but her tone becomes incredibly aggressive, and she starts pointing her finger at me and accusing me of buying alcohol while underage. I tell her that I am of age and I have every right to purchase what I just did. And if she has an issue, she can go find the manager because she, a fellow customer in the store, has no jurisdiction over me. The cashier himself decides to call for a manager and apologizes to me. I notice the kid now and he gives me a stern look, but I'm pretty sure it was just to side with his mom and that he was also uncomfortable about the whole ordeal. The manager comes over and asks the cashier what's wrong, and lo and behold, the Karen interrupts the lad and starts berating the manager. The manager listens a little, stops her for a second, and then turns to me and asks for my ID. I give it to him, and he checks it. He's happy, but as soon as he goes to hand it back, the woman snaps at him with an expectant look on her face, and she says, "Sorry, but I'd like to check it myself." Not even a please. He gives it back to me anyway, which triggers a visible storm of anger within her, and she proceeds to block his way and starts scolding him about poor customer service, illegal business activity, etc. The cashier tells me to leave, and I do so because it's 9 p.m. and I really can't be bothered to deal with this. I hope that woman was kicked out or something, and if so, I'm sad I didn't witness it, but dear God, I feel so sorry for that poor kid. Oh my goodness. What the heck is wrong with some people? Feeling the need to police things. I can't believe she asked the manager to see OP's personal ID card to see if the cashier and the manager were telling the truth about OP's age. Did Karen really try to outmanager the manager though? I'm just baffled, I'm speechless. So, a woman comes up to the registers with a massive, beautiful area rug that we just got in. It's been priced at about $100, which is high for our usual thrift store prices, but still below retail. She doesn't have the "I want to speak to your manager" haircut that I can tell, mostly because it's tied up in a bun. The first words out of her mouth to my coworker was, "Excuse me, is there any wiggle room on this rug?" I told her no, I'm afraid not. And she responds, well, the price is just too high, considering there's some damage to it. I told her the department head would have researched the value and made the adjustments. I'm afraid I can't do anything against that. She responds, well, I need a rug to cover some damages my kids did to our carpets, and I need it by Tuesday for a house showing. Can I speak to your manager? I told her that our store manager has gone home for the day, and our store is closed for Labor Day. I'm afraid if you want to talk about the price adjustment, you'll have to wait till Tuesday morning at 10 a.m. She says, no, I'm afraid I can't wait that long. Do you give military discounts? I told her unfortunately not, just a senior's discount, and that's only 10% off. 10% isn't nearly low enough. I can pay you $50. Ma'am, we don't haggle. Well, the price is too high. Can I just buy it now and return it? I replied, no, we don't do refunds. You can donate it back, but you won't get any money for it. She says this is ridiculous, and I told her the only option is to leave a message for the store manager and come back at 10 a.m. Tuesday to see if she'll lower the price for you. The lady starts screaming and says, no, I need it for Tuesday morning. That's not nearly enough time. She huffs and moves to the side to fiddle with her phone for about 10 minutes before coming back. And she says, all right, I'll pay your ridiculous price, but I'll need a pen and paper. I'm gonna leave a message for your store manager to get a partial refund on this rug. My coworker starts smirking and says, sure thing. The woman scribbles down her name, a number, and a complaining message about how the rug was too expensive and how she wants to get a partial refund on the rug to reduce the cost down to $50, as well as a military discount on top of that price reduction. She then pays for the rug and stomps out. We posted the message on the store manager's office door, along with a note saying that I and my coworker told her multiple times that we do not haggle or give refunds. Since I don't work on Tuesdays, I'm almost sorry I'll have to wait to hear about the incoming Category 5 tantrum that will likely ensue. Update. So, Thursday was my first day back, and I asked the store manager what happened. Events as follows. So, the store manager came back to work to read the note. She proceeds to laugh and shake her head in disbelief at the audacity of this entitled lady before opening her office and starting up the daily stuff. She also checks the security feed for the day in question. So, 10 a.m. on the dot, when the store opens, the phone rings. Apparently, the entitled lady was not satisfied to simply leave a note and/or wait to be called back with an answer. Nope, she's on the phone with her spiel prepped and everything. The store manager politely listens to the whole song and dance, and amazingly the story remained consistent, with no added details or claims that her son's cancer-ridden puppy needs the money back for life-saving miracle cures. Nope. She's literally admitting again that she has used the rug to hide damage to the house that she showed early this morning and just wants her money back, or at least some of it. The entitled lady winding down her story says, so that's why I'm hoping you can work with me on this. My store manager says, actually no, I can't. There's a bit of stunned silence, and she says, I'm sorry, what do you mean you can't? The store manager replies, I can't. We can't do refunds at the store. But the rug was too expensive. Store manager told her, and yet you purchased the rug anyway, after being told that you would not get any money back. The entitled lady whines and says, but nobody said that. Nobody told me I couldn't return it or get a price adjustment. Ma'am, you were told that multiple times. The entitled lady goes from 0 to 100 instantly and says, are you calling me a liar? Store manager calmly says, ma'am, we have video and audio of the 20-minute long argument you had with both of my employees. They both very clearly informed you multiple times that we don't haggle and we don't refund. And there was crickets. The store manager continues and says, now, as I see it, you have a choice. You either keep the rug or donate it somewhere. Either way, we appreciate the money you've generously donated to all the homeless kitties and puppies at our local animal shelter. Have a nice day. Click. I was honestly kind of speechless at the epic beauty of this complete shutdown of the entitled lady. I don't know if my manager embellished on what she said to this woman, but I think I'm gonna pretend it's all true and hold that happy little thought in my heart for the rest of my days. Imagine a day where Karens learn to successfully haggle something and get the price they want. And that, my friends, brings us to another end of r/entitled people. We made it. Guys, if you missed the last episode of r/entitled people, a Karen thinks she owns OP because he works at a supermarket that she pays a membership for. Yikes. Check it out if you haven't, and I'll see you guys in the next one. I love you.